The Bill of Rights was born out of compromise and concern. When the Constitution was drafted in 1787, it established a strong federal government, but it did not include an explicit list of individual rights. This alarmed many Americans, particularly the anti-federalists, who feared centralized power could become as oppressive as British rule had been. They demanded guarantees of personal liberty before ratifying the Constitution. The Federalists, including Alexander Hamilton and James Madison, initially argued that a Bill of Rights was unnecessary. They believed the Constitution already limited government powers by design. But the pressure from state ratifying conventions and from public opinion made clear that the people wanted clear protections spelled out. So, in 1789, James Madison, who had once doubted the need for amendments, took the lead in drafting them. He drew from state constitutions, colonial charters, and the English Bill of Rights of 1689. Congress approved 12 amendments, and the states ratified 10 by 1791, creating what we now call the Bill of Rights. The First Amendment is the cornerstone of American liberty. It protects 5 fundamental freedoms: religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. These words guarantee both freedom from government-established religion and freedom to practice faith individually. Next, freedom of speech and press, ensuring citizens can criticize government, express ideas, and spread information without fear of punishment. Freedom of assembly allows people to gather peacefully, while the right of petition gives citizens the power to demand government action. Together, these rights form the heart of democratic society, protecting dissent, dialogue, and debate. The Second and Third Amendments. The Second Amendment declares the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. To the founders, this was tied to the militia system, ensuring citizens could defend themselves and the nation. Over time, it has sparked deep debate about whether it protects a collective right tied to militias or an individual right to own firearms. The Supreme Court's 2008 District of Columbia v. Heller decision confirmed the latter, an individual right to bear arms, while allowing for reasonable regulation. The Third Amendment, rarely litigated, prohibits the quartering of soldiers in private homes during peacetime. This reflected colonial resentment towards British troops occupying private property, a symbolic defense of personal privacy and domestic security. The Fourth through Eighth Amendments. These amendments protect citizens accused of crimes, ensuring fairness, justice, and protection from abuse of power. The Fourth Amendment guards against unreasonable searches and seizures, requiring warrants based on probable cause. This principle upholds privacy and limits arbitrary government intrusion. The Fifth Amendment adds multiple protections: the rights to due process of law, protection against self-incrimination, protection from double jeopardy, the guarantee of just compensation for property taken through eminent domain. The Sixth Amendment ensures a fair trial, the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury with the right of counsel and to confront witnesses. The Seventh Amendment preserves the right to a jury trial in civil cases. And the Eighth Amendment forbids excessive bail or fines and prohibits cruel and unusual punishment, a principle that continues to shape debates over the death penalty and prison conditions. Together, these amendments establish the rule of law, ensuring justice is not subject to arbitrary power. The Ninth and Tenth Amendments. The Ninth and Tenth Amendments complete the Bill of Rights by addressing the limits of federal authority and the scope of personal liberty. The Ninth Amendment declares that the enumeration of certain rights in the Constitution shall not be construed to deny or disparage other retained by the people. This means Americans possess rights beyond those explicitly listed, such as privacy, travel, and marriage, which courts have recognized through constitutional interpretation. The 10th Amendment reinforces federalism. It reserves powers not delegated to the federal government nor prohibited to the states themselves, or to the people. Together, these final two amendments emphasize the federal government's powers are limited and that sovereignty ultimately resides with the people. At first, the Bill of Rights applied only to the federal government. States could and did restrict freedoms in ways that would be unconstitutional today. That changed after the Civil War, when the 14th Amendment was ratified in 1868. Through a process known as incorporation, the Supreme Court gradually applied most provisions of the Bill of Rights to the states. Today, nearly every right in the first 8 amendments binds both state and federal authorities, extending constitutional protection to every level of government. In the 20th and 21st centuries, the Bill of Rights has continued to evolve. Courts have expanded free speech protections to include symbolic expressions like flag burning and political protest. Freedom of religion now extends to both belief and non-belief. New technologies raise new questions. How do Fourth Amendment protections apply to digital privacy, cell phones, or online data? Do social media platforms implicate the First Amendment when they regulate speech? Each generation redefines what these liberties mean in modern life. The Bill of Rights stands as a timeless safeguard of liberty. It reminds us that freedom is not granted by government. It is protected from government. These 10 amendments transform the Constitution from a framework of government into a charter of liberty, balancing power with principle and authority with accountability. For over 2 centuries, the Bill of Rights has guided America through conflict and change, ensuring that even in times of crisis, the voice and rights of the individual endure. It is both our inheritance and our responsibility, a promise from the founders that liberty belongs to the people and must be defended by every generation. I'm Bruce Alton Carlson. For more on the U.S. Constitution, please like and subscribe.